A 1-year-old crow was placed in front of the same puzzle that stumped a fully grown chimpanzee. The crow solved it in under a minute. The scientist running the test stopped the recording, looked at his colleague, and said, "We need to rethink everything we know about animal intelligence." Today, I'm going to show you exactly what happened in that lab and why it changes how you see every crow you'll ever look at. For decades, the animal intelligence hierarchy seemed settled. Chimps at the top, dolphins, elephants, orangutans close behind. Birds? Nobody was seriously putting birds in that conversation. Scientists had a simple logic: bigger brain, bigger intelligence. Mammals won that game easily. A crow's brain is roughly the size of a walnut. But here's what nobody was asking. What if brain size was the wrong measurement entirely? In the early 2000s, a small group of researchers started quietly running cognitive tests on crows. Not because they expected anything remarkable, but what they found, quietly in lab after lab, started a slow earthquake in the field of animal cognition. The data kept pointing to something that made no sense on paper. Here's where it gets uncomfortable for the science. When researchers at Cambridge University ran a full battery of cognitive tests, causal reasoning, impulse control, spatial memory, future planning, on crows aged just 1 year old, something strange happened. The 1-year-old crows didn't just perform well for birds, they matched adult-grade apes, score for score, test for test. That's not a baby chimp they matched. That's a fully grown, mature chimpanzee. Matched by a bird, 1-year-old, brain the size of a walnut. The scientific community had a problem, because if this was true, then everything they thought they understood about how intelligence develops in animals was wrong. So how is this even possible? Let's break it down. First, the brain wiring, not the brain size. Crows have a region called the nidopallium cotylateral. It does in crow brains exactly what the prefrontal cortex does in human and primate brains: higher thinking, decision-making, planning. Nature built a completely different brain structure and arrived at nearly the same result: 2 totally different roads to the same destination. Second, parental investment like almost no other bird. Crow chicks stay with their parents for up to 5 years. During that time, parents don't just feed them, they teach them. Active skill transfer, problem solving modeled in real time. Third, survival pressure as an accelerator. Crows don't live in one safe habitat. They live everywhere. Their brain didn't just evolve to be smart, it evolved to be fast at becoming smart. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Crows drop walnuts on road crossings, specifically at pedestrian crossings, then wait for the traffic light to turn red before walking out to collect the cracked shells. They didn't stumble into this. They learned the traffic system. They cache food in hundreds of locations, and if they know another crow watched them hide food, they come back and move it. That requires understanding another individual's perspective. Theory of mind. Humans develop it around age 4. Most animals never develop it at all. In Seattle, a young girl named Gaby started leaving food for neighborhood crows. Within weeks, they started bringing her gifts. Buttons, shiny glass, a small piece of metal shaped like a heart. A 1-year-old crow processing the concept of reciprocity. Here's the thing nobody talks about when they discuss crow intelligence. It's not just that crows are smart, it's what their smartness means. For centuries, humans placed themselves at the peak and built a neat ladder below them: primates, mammals, then birds. Crows didn't climb that ladder. They built a different ladder entirely. That tells us that intelligence is not one thing. It's not one path. It's not one brain shape or one evolutionary story. Intelligence is a solution, and nature finds that solution in multiple ways through multiple creatures across millions of years. The crow didn't become smart because it copied us. It became smart because the universe, apparently, keeps arriving at the same answer. So the next time a crow locks eyes with you on the street, just remember. It's not looking at you like you're interesting. It's looking at you like it already figured you out. If that got under your skin, good. Next week, we cover how crows hold grudges for years and teach their flock to hate the same person. Subscribe and drop a comment. Have you ever felt like a crow was watching you a little too closely? Not because they expected anything remarkable, but what they found quietly in lab after lab started a slow earthquake in the field of animal cognition.